A small feathered dinosaur spots a sharp stone beside a cracked shell. It nudges the stone, turns it, and presses the sharp edge against the shell. The fossil record cannot tell us whether a moment like this ever happened. But could it have? And if one dinosaur learned to use an object this way, how far was it from a stone age? To answer that, we will test three very different kinds of dinosaurs: the giant Tyrannosaurus rex, raptor-like hunters, and smaller bird-like theropods. But intelligence alone will not be enough. A dinosaur would need to control objects, solve unfamiliar problems, and use tools on purpose. Then others would have to copy the behavior, preserve it, and improve it across generations. That final step changes the entire question. One clever animal can use a tool. A stone age begins only when a population builds a tradition. The first clue is hidden inside dinosaur skulls. After the brain disappears, scientists can sometimes reconstruct the cavity it once occupied. This model is called an endocast. It can reveal broad shape and clues about balance or sensory processing, but it cannot reveal thoughts, plans, or memories. That is why simple intelligence rankings are unreliable. A larger brain does not automatically mean a more flexible mind. Even estimated neuron numbers cannot be treated like an ancient IQ score. Scientists must combine several kinds of evidence, including brain shape, senses, body size, ecology, growth, lifespan, and the anatomy used to interact with the world. This wider test makes the most famous dinosaur a useful place to begin. Tyrannosaurus rex had powerful senses. Its skull suggests strong smell, useful vision, and impressive coordination for an animal of its size. It was not the slow-minded monster imagined in some older portrayals. But a capable predator is not automatically a toolmaker. Tyrannosaurus had very short forelimbs with a limited working space. Its enormous jaws could grip and crush, but they were built for force, not delicate adjustment. It may have solved difficult hunting or social problems. That still would not give it the precise control needed to shape a stone. The more promising candidates were smaller and more bird-like. Raptor-like dinosaurs had keen senses, mobile bodies, and grasping forelimbs. Some small bird-like hunters also had relatively enlarged brain cases and forward-facing eyes. The beaked relatives of Oviraptor add another possibility. They had long arms, strong beaks, and fossils that preserve adults closely associated with nests and eggs. None of these features proves tool use. Together, however, they suggest animals that interacted with complex environments and may have responded flexibly to unfamiliar problems. Fossil sites also preserve repeated nesting activity, brooding adults, trackways, and groups of individuals. These discoveries raise an important question. Did young dinosaurs simply grow near adults, or did they learn by watching them? The evidence cannot answer that directly. A group is not automatically a classroom. Animals may gather for safety, food, migration, or breeding without teaching one another anything. To approach a stone age, a young dinosaur would need to observe a useful behavior, remember it, and repeat it later. Fossils can suggest contact between generations. They cannot show whether knowledge passed from one mind to another. Still, ecology matters. A small animal searching through branches, stones, nests, and hidden food faces changing problems. That kind of life can reward memory, attention, and flexible behavior. But even the right brain would be useless without the right body. Human hands can rotate, pinch, stabilize, and apply controlled force. Dinosaur hands were not human hands. Some bird-like theropods had grasping forelimbs, but how precisely they could reposition small objects remains uncertain. Their wrists were adapted for movements very different from ours. Curved claws could hook or hold objects, but that does not mean a dinosaur could turn a stone repeatedly and strike it at a precise angle. A dinosaur might also have used its mouth or feet. Living birds often do exactly that. A parrot grips food with one foot and works on it with the beak. Some birds of prey carry and reposition objects in their talons. Crows insert sticks into holes, bend materials, and choose tools suited to a task. And this is where living birds complicate the story. Modern birds show that advanced problem-solving can exist without a human-like hand. New Caledonian crows manufacture hooked tools from plant material. They select useful shapes, modify them, and use them to reach hidden food. In controlled experiments, some have even joined separate pieces into a longer tool. Other members of the crow family remember individuals, adjust their behavior after experience, and solve unfamiliar problems. Parrots can manipulate several parts of an object with remarkable control. These abilities developed in living birds, not in the extinct species we are testing. A crow cannot serve as a recording of a raptor-like dinosaur mind. Millions of years of separate change stand between them. Still, birds establish one important point. The dinosaur family tree was capable of producing flexible intelligence and sophisticated object use. So this kind of behavior was not biologically impossible. The question is whether any non-avian dinosaur had already crossed that line. To find out, we would need evidence. A naturally sharp stone is not evidence of tool use by itself. Even a stone found beside a dinosaur skeleton proves almost nothing. Researchers would need a repeated pattern. They might look for objects moved into unusual settings, consistent wear, deliberate shaping, or a secure connection between an artifact and its maker. No accepted evidence currently shows that non-avian dinosaurs manufactured stone tools. No dinosaur workshop has been found. No sequence of modified stones records a growing technology. This does not mean every possible tool would fossilize. Sticks, leaves, bark, and other organic materials usually decay. A dinosaur could have used a branch without leaving a clear trace. But poor preservation cannot be turned into proof. It leaves a possibility, not a discovery. And even direct tool use would still fall short of a Stone Age. Return to the dinosaur from the opening. Suppose it uses a sharp stone to open food. That would be impressive. Suppose it repeats the behavior tomorrow. That would suggest learning. Suppose a younger animal watches and copies it. Now the behavior begins to move beyond one mind. But the crucial step comes later. The next generation must preserve the method. Then someone must improve it. Perhaps one individual chooses a sharper edge. Another carries useful stones to a feeding site. A third changes the grip or selects a better material. When useful changes accumulate, knowledge becomes larger than any single inventor. That is cumulative culture. It is the process that can turn a simple tool into a technological tradition. Some animals show social traditions today. Groups may share songs, travel routes, feeding methods, or local tool designs. Evidence for truly cumulative improvement outside humans exists in limited and debated forms. That tells us the threshold is difficult, even for intelligent species alive now. An animal can be observant, social, and capable of using objects, yet never build a technology that grows. This may be the greatest barrier of all. The fossil record can sometimes reveal a hand. It can estimate the shape of a brain cavity. It can preserve a nest or a pathway. But culture is a chain of information passing between minds. Unless that culture changes bones, stones, or landscapes, the chain can disappear almost completely. Then, about 66 million years ago, the world of non-avian dinosaurs ended. The extinction event does not show that a dinosaur civilization was about to appear. The fossil record does not reveal a guaranteed path toward technology. Different abilities succeed in different environments, and many successful species never need anything resembling a Stone Age. Some dinosaur lineages might have become more behaviorally flexible over time. Others might have remained successful without complex tools. The extinction closed those pathways before anyone could see where they led. So which dinosaurs came closest? If any non-avian dinosaurs approached the threshold, the most plausible candidates may have been small bird-like theropods, especially raptor-like dinosaurs, and perhaps the beaked relatives of Oviraptor. They had several useful ingredients: strong senses, active bodies, opportunities for social contact, and forelimbs that may have allowed limited object manipulation. But the complete technological package is missing. There is no accepted evidence of shaped stone tools. There is no demonstrated tradition of improving tools. And there is no proof that knowledge accumulated across generations. Return once more to the sharp stone beside the shell. A dinosaur noticing its edge is biologically imaginable. A dinosaur using it is possible but unconfirmed. A community teaching the method, improving it, and preserving it across generations is a much greater claim. That is the distance between intelligence and a Stone Age. Not one brilliant moment. A chain of discoveries that refuses to disappear. If hidden intelligence and lost possibilities fascinate you, subscribe to Almost Human Science. The next almost human mind may not be extinct at all.